Okay, everyone, let's grab our seats. It's officially 8:30 p.m. My name is Ron. I'm an alcoholic.
All right.
Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Be mindful of the place. You see the remodeling job. The church spent like, I don't know, $250,000 freshening it up, whatever, redoing this for us. Right now, our air conditioning's broken. We're pumping it in via fan, so bear with us. But it's still a lot better than it is outside. We will be closing the kitchen when the meeting starts, which it just did just now, so, during the meeting, and it'll open up again after the meeting, okay? So be mindful to get here early. Food and fellowship is 8:30. And we have a special guest tonight. We have a special guest speaker, and what more fitting for that is a special, our Southern Canadian princess, Kara, to come up and share. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Good evening, y'all.
Good evening.
My name is Kara, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Kara.
This is a 1-hour speaker meeting that meets every Saturday evening at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, 301 North Main Street, Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Food and fellowship starts at 8 p.m. and speaker at 8:30 p.m. The business meeting for this group meets every Saturday at 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. right here. Please come early and join us. The purpose of this group is to provide a consistent message of hope and recovery through God reliance and service to others through the practice and teachings of the 12 steps. We record all speakers so that others may benefit from their message of recovery. If you wish not to be recorded, simply ask. This is an open meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. The group would like to welcome everyone, especially newcomers. Is there anyone new or from out of town that would like to introduce themselves with their first name?
PJ,
Welcome, PJ. Welcome, Tom.
I'm Summer, an alcoholic.
Welcome, Summer. Welcome. Welcome all. The Conscious Contact Speaker Group encourages sponsorship. Would anyone with the working knowledge of the 12 steps and willing to sponsor, please raise your hands. Thank you for your service. Are there any announcements for the good of AA? Jason?
My name is Jason, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Jason.
Monday night, 6 p.m., Stay Alive Literature and Step Book meeting right out here in the lobby. This week we've got a good friend of the Conscious Contact, Sarah, coming down to speak on Step 12. Please come out and hang out with us. We'll have a great time.
Thank you. Nick?
My name is Nick, I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Nick.
We'll make a digital donation to the Second Commission. Come see you at the meeting whenever time comes.
Thank you, Nick. Marty?
Yes, I'd just like to announce that we had lost someone that comes to this group every week. Scott, he had passed away last week. And so if you could keep his family in prayer, I would appreciate it because he was a member.
Oh, thank you, Marty. We sure will. Our sister group is a big book study meeting that meets every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. just up the street at Salem UCC Church, 186 East Court Street, Doylestown. Coffee is on at 6:15. We have meeting lists and big books on easy terms. Please see me or any home group member after the meeting. If you cannot afford a big book, the Conscious Contact Speaker Group will give you one at no charge. Anyone willing to make donations for the purchase of big books to help those who cannot afford them can put donations in the jar on the table marked Big Books and CD Donations. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Conscious Contact Speaker Group of Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and our Facebook group. Subscribe and share. You can find our speakers there. Join our Facebook page to keep informed, and you can share upcoming events and meetings. Now I would like to welcome a good friend of the Conscious Contact Group. Let's welcome Daryl. He's going to come up and read just for today, Prayer of Recovery. Woo! Woo!
What's up, everybody? My name is Daryl. I'm an alcoholic. Just for today, prayer recovery. Just for today, I will be agreeable. I will look as well as I can. Dress becomingly. Talk low. Act courteously. Criticize not one bit. Not find fault with anything, and not try to improve or regulate anybody except myself. And I believe we had Murph to come up here.
Hey guys, I'm Murph, I'm an alcoholic. The AA Preamble. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organizations, or institutions. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics achieve sobriety. Now help me welcome up Mike to read the 12 steps.
How's it going? I'm Mike. I'm an alcoholic. The 12 steps. 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all of these defects of character. 7. Humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. And 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry His message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. And now please help me welcome back up our lovely chair lady, Kara.
Our 7th tradition states, every group ought to be self-supporting, declining outside contributions. At this time, I would like to pass the basket. We have no dues or fees, but we have expenses. This group provides many services. Your donations cover food, rent, big book CDs, events, and workshops, etc. There is absolutely no smoking on church property. Please take a moment to silence all cell phones and limit movement during the meeting to avoid distractions. Now, I'd like to introduce the speaker. As a good friend of the Conscious Contact Speaker Group, let's give Robbie W. He came all the way from Wildwood, New Jersey. Woo!
Good evening, everybody. My name is Robbie, and I'm an alcoholic. All right, let's try it again in unison. You ready? Good evening, everybody. My name is Robbie, and I'm an alcoholic. Hi, everybody. It's great to be here. I hail from the Primary Purpose Group in Wildwood, New Jersey. I got a permanent sobriety date. It is October 31st of 1983. I have a permanent sponsor. His name is Ben N. from Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. And I love sobriety, man. And I love this group. And I love Ron K. I'm not just saying that because you're in the room. And I also love your wife. Where's Mrs. K at? Is Mrs. K in the room? Where are you? Hi. Good to see you. I've been back to this meeting a few times, even on New Year's Eve when Ron has the big gala, and that's always a blast. Dave, good to see you, my friend, up in the front row. Dave and I in early sobriety hung out a little bit back down at the Jersey Shore. And I want to thank my lovely wife, Summer. We just got married on April 3rd. And our youngest daughter to join the group. All right, that's Dakota. Everybody say hi to Dakota. Oh, she's going to thank me for that later. And I just love being here. I love Alcoholics Anonymous. And I am a member in good standing. If you're a newcomer, here's what that means. I am in AA and not around it. Does everybody understand that? Yes. I am in AA. I am not around it. You will never. I'm going to share something with you. I'm going to give you a tip you up if you're a newcomer. Here's what it's going to sound like when somebody says they picked up a drink. And every time it's going to sound like this. I was around AA for insert time. I was around AA for, and then they'll give you 18,000 reasons why they picked up a drink. That's not what I'm getting at. They will never say this. And you mark my words and you quote me if you need to. I was in AA for 8 years. I went to meetings. I had a sponsor. I chaired a meeting. I had sponsees. I was sponsored. I got on my knees on a daily basis. I called my AA friends on a daily basis. I had an AA service position, and AA is the most important thing in my life. And I picked up a drink. You will never, ever hear that. All right, and I'm in a business where I do a lot of guarantees. I guarantee you will never hear that. And I also guarantee you will hear I was around AA 4. And I'm a front row guy, aren't I, honey? When we go to conventions and conferences, we're in the front row. Right? We hang out in the front row. It's who I am. Listen, if I got a chance to go to my favorite concert, I got to take off my suit jacket. If I got a chance to go to my favorite concert, right, Dave? And I got tickets. Thanks, brother. You're the man. And I got and say the Rolling Stones were coming into town, and they said to me, Robbie, you and Summer, you could sit wherever you want. Well, maybe I'll sit in the back. No offense, back row people. I'm sitting up front, and guess what? This is crazy. I'm getting there early, and I'm leaning up in my chair. I'm leaning in. I can't wait for Mick Jagger to begin Start Me Up or, Sympathy for the Devil. I'm all in. Please allow me to introduce myself. Yeah. But yet I come to Alcoholics Anonymous and I sit in the back. And yet I come to Alcoholics Anonymous and I'm on my phone. And yet I come to Alcoholics Anonymous and I'm somewhere other than being present. See, my job when I get here is to be present. My job when I get here is to be present and to be accounted for. My job when I get here in Alcoholics Anonymous is to pay back that man that when I came in here on October 31st of 1983, that he had time for me. Oh, I didn't look like this. I came in here drunk. I was 22 years old. And I came here drunk. And I came here hurting. But I am telling you this, and you mark my words. I fell in love with you people from day one. I am not that member that says, oh, I hated you and I didn't want hugs. Hug me. Love me. Tell me I'm okay. Lie to me if you need to. Tell me I look good. But by golly, don't hurt me. See, when we get to Alcoholics Anonymous, we come to a safe haven. This is a safe haven where we as alcoholics can come here and feel comfortable. We as alcoholics can come here and know that we are safe. We can come here and know that no one's going to hurt us. If you can't help somebody, please don't hurt them. Not anymore. Raise your hand if you've been hurt enough before you came to Alcoholics Anonymous. Thank you. This will be an interactive meeting for those that don't like to interact, okay? I'm just saying, there is nothing more. I'll tell you what, ever since Ron asked me, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, could I haven't been here since before the pandemic. Ever since he asked me, would you come out? I called the wife right away, because that's what we do, right? Well, you weren't my fiance at the time, probably. And I said, babe, we're going to go to Doylestown, at 8:30 at night. It's a big meeting. This guy, Ron K, runs this meeting. Him and his wife, they got all these guys in suits. And women in dresses and looking good and friendly and happy and greeting. They got a greeter, even though we came in the back door. Some things never change. Sorry about that group. And she was like, okay, babe, there's nothing wrong on my calendar, right? And we got here. And here's what I want to say. I've been excited. Is that crazy? With 42 years of continuous sobriety, there's still nothing more exciting than get a chance to come here and talk about my two favorite things, Alcoholics Anonymous and God. I believe Alcoholics Anonymous is the biggest love story that has ever occurred in the history of the world. I may be biased, but that is what I believe, man. I believe, and take no offense to this, anybody in here that's a real religionist, I believe that religions and movements for decades and centuries have been trying to create what we created. A stockbroker from New York, and a doctor from Vermont or Ohio. Everybody's been trying to create something like this, and we did it. A bunch of drunks, a ragtag bunch of misfits. That's what we are. I love there's a group that sings that song, Sidewalk Prophets. And they sing a song, Come to the Table. Listen to it, just Google it. That's not AA, I'll just let you know. I'm a past delegate in my area, so I know when I'm getting close to skirt the tradition. But they said we're a ragtag bunch of misfits. And I don't mean to be looking at you specifically, sir. And listen, y'all just heard the music of AA. It's not the Rolling Stones, okay? It's not Tupac Shakur. It's laughter. That's the music, right, Ron? That's the music of Alcoholics Anonymous. A bunch of alcoholics who at one point were down and out, who at one point, some of us lived on the streets, some of us went to institutions. By the look at you, some of you know what I'm talking about, right? Mental hospitals. Dude in the front row's going, keep going, come on, give me more. Salvation armies, self-help groups, lived on the streets, been to all of them. And only when I came to Alcoholics Anonymous, Nick, did something finally click. I knew right away. I know a con when I see a con. That's what I was. And I knew you had something. I didn't understand what you were doing, and it was called love, right? Dr. Bob in his last message said our whole program boils down to two words: love and service. And we all know what love is. And service is just love with legs on it. When you serve me, you are serving our God. Whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers and sisters, that you do unto me. Summer and I, we talk about that all the time, all the correlations, between the wonderful spirit world that's out there. In spiritual experience, on page 567, going over to 568, it says newcomers cannot believe that they all of a sudden tapped into an inner resource, turn to page 568, that they presently identify as a power greater than themselves. I didn't come here thinking about meeting God. I came here thinking about trying to get away from Bubba, Jose, and Spider inside the joint. You feel me? I'm trying to stay out of the joint. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest program. I want to stay away from Bubba, Jose, and Spider. I'm tired of living on the streets. I'm tired of rehab. I'm tired of making my bed. I'm tired of telling when I can take a shower. I'm tired of not being able to curse. I'm tired of all that stuff. And I come here, and you people say, you only got to change one thing. Everything. I'm like, oh, come on, man, that's a little tough. Give me. And then they had that crazy thing on the wall. Like, okay, I get it. It says on page 152, all right, you got me over the barrel. I know I got to stop drinking, 152. But do you have a sufficient substitute for a guy like me? For a guy that, I'm a Grand Theft Auto guy. I'm a guy that took money from a federal depository. Remember, young lady, I told you about anonymity, okay? I'm a guy that took money from a federal depository. And I'm a guy that also told a rehabilitation center when I was leaving that I was just going to set this place on fire. Oh, by the way, that's called a terroristic threat. I found out by going to jail. I didn't know that. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm feeling you. And also, and my last crime, my fourth felony, was I ended up being the poor box thief expanded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania with the Catholic churches. That wasn't fun making amends to that. But through the grace of God and sobriety, I was able to do that. So I come here. I come to Alcoholics Anonymous. At 22 years old, I bring you a kid that hates himself. I bring you a kid that has already tried to commit suicide. I bring you a kid that his mom and dad don't want him around. I bring to you a kid that is scared. I bring to you, I remember they asked me, Dave, to read How It Works. And I remember going, like, everybody's looking at me. Right, Marty? Everybody's looking at me. And I need a paper bag to breathe into, by golly. And today I can speak in front of thousands and like bring some more in. Can you fit any more in? Before Clancy, I was with Clancy, one of his last talks in a stadium in Toronto. And it was amazing. And he was amazing. And I'm blessed, to have been to places I've been to have gone to places I've gone to, and to talk about the greatest news on the face of the earth. And that is, if you don't want to drink, we have a solution. But then we also have a program of action. And by the way, it's drastic. I'm going to be honest with you new people. This may be the hardest thing you've ever had to do in your entire life. But it's worth it. There's promises peppered throughout this big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and the 12 and 12, right, honey? We do a promises meeting, and boy, oh boy, the promises are there. My favorite promises are the 5th step promises. For the newcomer, you get to do a 4th step, where that's where you talk about your sexual issues, you talk about your fears, you talk about your resentments, right? And you withhold nothing, and you're sitting next to somebody, and you're a sponsor, and you're doing the whole thing, right? And when you're done, it says some awesome promises that we can now look the world in the eye. How about that? Right? We can have a host of friends. Here's a better one. We can be alone at perfect peace and ease. And doesn't that dispel the notion when you hear a certain AA member saying, well, when I'm alone, I'm in bad company. I don't agree, Badhead Henry. Take the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. See, I'm not impressed if you got 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, or even 60 or 70 years. If you're not a member of AA in good standing and people are still walking on eggshells around you. Page 19 says it best. Right-hand side, top of the page. You know I love this quote, Summer. And it says a much better demonstration of our AA principles isn't tonight at the Doylestown Saturday night AA group the conscious contact speaker meeting. This is important. I'd love to turn somebody on tonight. I'd love to fire your heart up. I'd love to give you my card afterwards. I'd love to take you through the steps if I got on Zoom, whatever I got to do. And this is wonderful for this hour. But it says in my big book, a much better demonstration of our AA principles lies within our homes, our occupations, and our affairs. What am I doing after the Our Father and before the next Serenity Prayer? Oh, when you're looking, boy, oh boy, you should see my program during the Serenity Prayer and Our Father. Woo! And if I'm in a good mood, I'll tell you about everything I'm doing and everything I've done and all that. But ask my wife. Ask my daughter. And we have another son and daughter. Or my grandchildren. Am I a good father? Am I a good grandfather? Ask the people I work with. Am I a good dude to work with? And then ask my friends who have known me for decades. And then you'll maybe really get a clear picture. See, because what I do when I leave here, am I living the program of AA? I know there's a problem, and I can talk about it. You can tell I know a little bit about this book, right? Trust me, I know about the solution. I love it when I get calls, and they're like, hey, you got any solution-based groups? And I say, nope. And I shut up. And they don't know what to say next, Dick. And then I say, but I do know great groups that are program of action groups. Like, oh. You could still talk about the solution if the cows come home, but if you don't get into the program of action, I can tell you how to build a barn for 10 years, but until I start building it, it doesn't count. So I love that, and that's Joe and Charlie stuff. Joe and Charlie taught me that back in the 80s. You know, I got the chance to see them live, where they always talked about the problem first, and then they talked about the solution, and then they talked about the program of action. Am I in that program of action? If everybody does in AA what I'm doing, I'm sorry. Yeah, wait a minute. Would AA flourish because of what I'm doing? And if the answer is no, then I got to start doing something else. I got to start getting into the solution. I got to get up to that front row. I got to raise my hand. Some people should be asking me to sponsor them. I should definitely have a sponsor. We just went to my sponsor's house, 2 Sundays ago, right? In this pool and all that stuff. He made fresh cookies. We had a Zoom meeting at 3 o'clock. They went on the meeting with us. We were out by the pool. Tough life, but you got to do it, you know. So my life wasn't always rosy, wasn't always cheery. I didn't always wear a nice suit where things match and have nice shoes and have a wonderful career, you know. Because of Alcoholics Anonymous, I got a master's degree. Because of Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm going to get a doctorate. Right? She already calls me Dr. Walker, but it's not right yet. Because of Alcoholics Anonymous, I have a family that loves me. Because of Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm able to love others. Because I get this thing called altruism. Altruism is being concerned for the welfare of others, check this out, ahead of myself. And that almost doesn't make sense early on to an alcoholic, because all we think about is me, 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 me. And you can still hear alcoholics with time that aren't into the program, that are around it. They're saying, oh, that meeting sucked. And I'm thinking, don't say that to me, because I'll ask you, what did you put into it? Page 419 of the book, Dr. Paul O. says it well. Didn't we just read that this morning at our meeting this morning, honey? You know, if I concentrate on remember this is written way back when, but if I concentrate on the cigarette smoke in the meetings, right? Or on the war stories, right? Or on the long drunkalogs or whatever, you know, that's what I'm going to get out. But if I instead concentrate on the newbie, if I concentrate on that, I'm a note taker. If I'm at a big book meeting, you know, I got notes, man. Like, I want to remember what was said, you know. I want to highlight certain things. I come into this next time, like, ooh, let me see what I wrote in the margins. Where was I on that night, you know? The 5th edition of the big book's getting ready to come out. Oh, by the way, page 417, it has made it to the next edition. Woo! I just love that story, man. I love Dr. Paul. What did it used to be like? Might as well get into my drinking. Half hour into my story, right? I love the effect produced by alcohol. It says that in a doctor's opinion. Period. I'm not going to talk about, I had a wonderful upbringing. I got raised in a Roman Catholic family by a mom and pop that went to church. I got hugged and I got loved. I got encouraged. I went to private schools. I got good marks. I played ball, dated a cheerleader. What's my excuse? I fit in. I haven't hung out with the popular kids. What's my excuse? Wrong neighborhood? Nope. Wrong parents? Nope. Sexually abused? Nope. Physically abused? Nope. Feel alone in the crowd? Nope. I like the effect produced by alcohol. I like staggering. I like puking. I like singing songs that I couldn't sing. I like keg parties. I like shots. I like jiggers of anything. I like bottles. And I like you if you're drunk. And I like me better if I'm drunk. And that's just my story. And I didn't make that up. I didn't start drinking in high school because I didn't fit in or because I hated myself. My mom and pop raised me and my little sister with good self-esteem. We never had that issue. But I picked up a drink of alcohol and all bets were off. Glass in hand, says in step 1. Thank you, Bill Wilson. My mind was warped. I had an obsession for drinking that nothing could remove it. I loved alcohol. law, the rapacious creditor, and it bled me of all will to resist its demands. Can anybody relate to that? You know, anybody really know how to make plans after they picked up a drink? Not me, man. If you got your hand up, you're probably an Al-Anon. I mean, not me. You know? Not me. Once I picked up a drink, all bets are off. Bill Wilson says, in the book, alcoholics give us a slew of reasons why they drink. And check this out. They're a heartbreaking riddle, he says, because most times they believe it. And the truth of the matter is, I've told my mom and dad many times, I'm never going to do it again. I would get out of a joint, I would get out of a correction facility, and I would get home and my pop would get me a job as a dishwasher somewhere, and he'd drive me back and forth to work. And I said, Daddy, I'll never drink again, I promise you. And I was 20 years old. And Willie, I'll never forget, Willie the pot washer. Willie was always happy. And Willie, I always noticed he had like that milkshake thing, you know that silver milkshake thing? And he was drinking out of that. Now, little did I know that he had malt liquor 45 in that sucker. And one day I go by Willie and I smell it. And I said, what you drinking there? He says, you want one, Robbie? I said, darn tootin' I do. And I'm telling you, I lasted 2 days at home until my mom and dad realized that I started drinking again. And they said, get out. Don't leave mad. Just leave. Leave us alone. We've had enough. We've had enough. And I'm grateful for that, because that's why I'm sober today. I'm grateful that my parents did not enable me time and time again. You know? They didn't put up with my crap. I still remember the very last time I knocked on 4511 Loring Street in Northeast Philadelphia. And my little sister answered the door. She was 4 years younger than me. I'm probably 21, maybe 22 at this point. So she's probably 17 or 18. She's probably a senior in high school. And she threw a bag at me, a brown bag. There was a tuna fish sandwich in there. There was a bag of potato chips. There was a thing of Coke, Coca-Cola. You know, maybe an apple pie or something. Maybe a tasty cake. And guess what she said? I wish you would just die. I'll never forget. And that's Tracy. I'll never forget that in a million years. They had enough. At the end of the second step into 12 and 12, it says, whether the destruction fell on the dining room table or your own moral fiber. Well, the destruction actually fell on my mom and dad's dining room table because I threw a brick through their back window. You think I'm worried about you sometimes. You wonder why now. Because of how I was. I was a terror. I was a demon when I drank and did drugs. And I didn't care, Dave. I didn't care. Devil may care attitude. I was definitely on the other team. Graduated from high school, got a job at a federal depository, started giving myself gradual raises at the federal depository. That's how I say it. That means I was taking withdrawals without a withdrawal slip. One day I show up for work, I'm drinking. I'm having a great time. I'm making more than the other bank tellers. And I show up for work you can't make this up. I show up for work one day, and there was these two dudes with like hair like, what's your name, brother? Hair like Brian. Brian? Hair like flat top, real tight, half, you know. And but unlike Brian, they had guns and handcuffs coming out their butt. And they said, are you Robert Walker? And something told me they were not opening up a bank account. I said, yeah. And they said, turn around, put your hands on the thing. They patted me up and down. They read me my Miranda rights for the first time. They were very rude. They put me in handcuffs. They took me out. They didn't even have an appointment. You feel me? They took me out in handcuffs, put me in the back of a unmarked car with with top of my head. By the way, the cops always got to move the top of your head down. You can't touch the top of my head anymore. Summer can, okay? But no one else. And I'm just saying, that didn't mean to be sexual. I'm just saying. But the reality of it is, these are the things I remember. Has anybody in this room, and be honest, has it taken anybody more than one police officer to get them in the back of a car? Thank you, thank you, thank you. 3 of my buddies. Go fit. Thank you, honey. That's why I married you. All right. And man, I've been taking. One guy's got my leg, the other guy got a leg. How you doing? Am I still good? Yeah. You know, and you know, guys got my shoulders, and listen, they don't care. There's no cell phones back in 1982 and 1 in 80. There was nobody saying you can't do that to them. They were just watching like, oh, pretty crazy, huh? That's my story. So think about how I feel tonight on August 15th of 2026 when I showed up at 8:13 and all the guys, Ron gave me a big hug and said, hey dude, you came in the wrong door. Everybody's waiting to say hi to you out there. And then I see all my friends I haven't seen for a little while and I'm getting hugs and all, and I'm introducing everybody to my new wife and my daughter. Seeing Dave, seeing some old friend, meeting Tommy. Tommy, how you doing? Be careful sitting next to that guy. You're going to get more sober than you wanted to, buddy. But anyway, and the reality of it is, what a difference. And I'm okay with this. I hope I never get tired of this. You know, there's a song where it says, I hope you dance when you get a chance. I hope you dance. And I've been dancing this program of Alcoholics Anonymous since October 31st of 1983. I have been. I'm telling you, I've been dancing this. I've been, you know, in 1998, they elected me the delegate of my area. I got to meet the General Service Board of Alcoholics Anonymous. That was, oh, by the way, when we were working on the 4th edition of the Big Book. I remember that vividly. And since then, I've done even crazier cool things. Traveling the world. And every once in a while, had something about Alcoholics Anonymous on here. Me. A kid that's been in at least 4 or 5 mental institutions. A kid that's been in, and we didn't have detoxes back then when I got sober. We used to just be put in the hospital's emergency room, drink some stuff that y'all, any nurses in the room? Any nurses at all? Okay, thank you, good. Because I usually have resentments against every one of them. No, I'm only kidding. But they got me to drink this stuff, man, where you would just puke. What? Charcoal? Who said that? Yeah, my wife. And then you would just leave. I'm like, where am I going to go? Like, we don't care. Just go. And that's who I was back then. And I had nowhere to go. And I would run to John Barleycorn. I would run to the main manufacturer of my misery. Lockup after lockup after lockup. You know, suicide attempt. I am a suicide survivor. I'll bring you to my last debacle. That's an epic of time. It's in the book. And my last debacle. I love Bill Wilson's writings. I say a lot of his words. And I was at the Exton Square Mall in Exton, Pennsylvania. And I was in Hickory Farms. I'm already at this point a 4-time convicted felon. Okay? I'm out in the world, but I'm not supposed to be. I had a failure to appear. I am just one police officer away from going back in for a violation of parole because I didn't show up at a court hearing. I'm always violating parole because I didn't have a daytimer back then when I was drinking. You know, we got daytimers, babe. We know what we're doing until the end of the year, you know, whatever. I didn't have one back then. I missed court dates, and I'm at Exton Square Mall, and I'm hungry, and I go to Hickory Farms, and I put the round things of salami and cheese, I put one down my pants, right here, okay? And I'm trying to walk out with this round thing in my groin area, right? And I'm doing my best. And there's this young gal behind the counter. She couldn't have been 100 pounds, and she flew through the air and tackled me. I am not proud to tell you that was my last crime. But I can also tell you I told no one in the joint that I'm in there for stealing salami. You feel me? No one found that out. And I got locked up by mall police that day. How about that? Finally, you laughed. Oh, good. I had to bring up the ball. Pitiful, incomprehensible demoralization. Isn't that what it says in the Big Book? And that was me, once again, Once again in the lockup. And now it says at the end of Bill's story on page 16, top of the page, it says, some are shocked at our seeming worldliness and our levity, our humor. But just underneath it, and let's get into this, is a deadly earnestness. I show up at Chester County Farms Prison. I got like 11 months for that. I thought that was a little high for salami and cheese. Just saying. I don't even need salami and cheese anymore, do I, honey? No. What do you want for the football game? No crackers, salami, and cheese, babes, you know. I'm doing 11 and a half months at Chester County Farms Prison, CCFP. Same as always, except for at this time, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm 22 years old and I'm done. I hate myself. I don't want to go on a second longer. And I started flooding out my cell, and guards don't like that, nor do inmates, honestly. And all of a sudden, the inmates came to my cell. They did what's called a cell extraction. Once again, they weren't invited in, but they came in and they removed me from that cell. And they beat me within an inch of my life. And I ended up in the hole. Does anybody know what the hole is inside maximum security prison? Thank you. Or not maximum security prison. It's just a minimum security prison, salami and cheese. But I was on a maximum security ring for the bad guys. And there's a hole in the floor. And that's all. Oh, by the way, that hole is to defecate in and urinate in. I'm sorry, but we got to tell the truth. I'd love to paint this as a pretty picture. But it's not. And this is where alcohol took me. And I got to tell this story. Every time I tell my story, I got to talk about this. And I was naked. And I came to. And every part of my body hurt. I had pock marks. Because I was doing drugs. And I just hurt. And the guard came, because you got room service when you're a bad guy. And the guard came to my door and said, "Chow, Walker." And he threw a tray in me, and I got that tray. And on that tray, you know what was on that tray, Summer? A what? A spork. And I took that spork, a spork. You've never done time. A spork is that, little, plastic, looks like a spoon with a little fork thing in the middle. And I took that spork and I grabbed my left arm and I cut myself until I couldn't go on any longer, until I couldn't feel any longer. And I woke up in the infirmary. I came to in the infirmary of Chester County Farms Prison. And when I came to, there was a big old guard standing ahead of me, standing above me, and now I'm strapped down to the bed, so I know what that's like. You don't have to tell me about paralysis when I'm new. I know. And I'm shaking, and I can still remember saying, "Please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me." And he put his arm on my shoulder. And he said, "Son, I'm here to help you." And he undid my shackles. He put me in a chair, redid my shackles, put me in a wheelchair, and wheeled me to a room. And I kid you not, to this day, on the wall is a camera, and there's a TV. And the camera's on me, and the TV, there's a judge. And inside that prison, I got remanded to a place called Haverford State Mental Institution. Anybody heard of that? Anybody from around here? Haverford, Pennsylvania. And I went there. And I know what it's like to light my cigarettes on the wall, because that's where the lighters are. I know what it's like not to have shoelaces and belts. I know what it's like to do so much Thorazine that it would have taken me about 15 minutes just to get to that speaker. And I'm not supposed to live. The evil one does not want me living any longer. Doesn't want me living any longer. I look back at that today and I know it. But back then I just said, I'm done. And somehow I got out of there. And I drank again. Bottom of page 58, top of page 59. Remember that we deal with alcohol. Cunning, baffling, and powerful. Let's say that again as a group. Remember that we deal with alcohol. Cunning, baffling, and powerful. Listen, there might be somebody outside that needs this program. Let's try it one more time, and let's do it with passion. Remember, we deal with alcohol. Cunning, baffling, powerful, and without help it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power, and that one is God. Thank you. I love having the whole room shouting out God. And if that bothers you, call your sponsor. God's on my side though, baby. I'm just going to throw it out there. He's been walking beside me every single day of my sobriety, even though I didn't know it. And I'm in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And I wish my scorecards read 0, but they read like a negative 500. And it was my time. I believe angels in heaven to this day. I believe that it was my time. And I believe they were all talking. And it was my day. October 31st of 1983. Robbie's going to give it a shot. And I just got done my watermelon that was spiked with Bacardi 151 rum. All by myself. I love George Thorogood. I drink alone. I didn't have nobody to want to be around. Not because I wanted to, Nick, because nobody wanted to be around me. And I'm drunk and I hate myself. And I'm either going to kill myself or I'm going to try this stupid program called Alcoholics Anonymous that all these people are coming into my prisons and my mental hospitals and my rehabilitation centers and they're saying, maybe you're an alcoholic. Why don't you try it someday, Robbie Walker? And I hate myself just enough, and I've had just enough where one day I do it, and I show up at the Honor Club drunk. And Don C. was at the door. There's a wonderful man named Reverend Sam Shoemaker. Anybody ever hear of Reverend Sam Shoemaker? And Reverend Sam Shoemaker was one of Bill Wilson's confidants, if not his spiritual advisor. And he helped him write the steps. Reverend Sam Shoemaker talked about standing by the door. What door? The door to God's kingdom. The door where there's hands grasping. What are they grasping for? The doorknob to what? To his kingdom. And here in Alcoholics Anonymous, we get to show the new guy, the new girl, the new bird, whatever you want to call him, a chance to say, hey, guess what? I was once like you. We get it, I get it. I know what it's like. Hang with us. Tonight, on Saturday night, we usually get a pretty fired up speaker. Come to our group. Sunday night we do a big book meeting. Come to Thursday night we do this. We eat good. I don't got no money. Don't worry about it. I'm seeing things. Sitting next to John, he thinks he says things. Don't matter. You'll do. That's what they said to me. I tried to tell them how crazy I was. I'm like, oh, you'll do just good. The worse you are, the better you are in AA. You'll fit right in. Everybody relate to that? Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don took me home with him with no sobriety. And he introduced me to his wife, Rhonda, and his 2 kids, Brian and Dallas. Guess what they did, Dakota? Rhonda looked me in the eyes. And she said, son, do you mean business? And I forgot your name, brother. Daryl. I looked at Rhonda, Daryl, and I said, yes, I do, with all the honesty I could muster. And somewhere deep inside, I didn't know if I was telling the truth. And she said, Don, go set his bed up. Well, that got me excited at first, till I found out it was in the basement, next to the, wood-burning furnace. I thought for sure they were going to cut me up, put me in there. Anybody ever see the movie Children of the Corn? I'm sorry, Daryl. I'm shot out, right? And he knew that. Don would read me the big book at night at his kitchen table. And he was a pig farmer. So he'd make me taters and sausage and scrapple and just eggs. And he kept on reading me from the big book. One night, I promise you, I'm getting ready to tell you is the truth. He took me out in his backyard with no time. 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, I don't know. And I hated myself. I already told him my mom and dad don't want me around. I was afraid to tell them that. Because if they don't want me around, why would you want me around? And he took me out in his backyard, and we're out there, and we're looking at the stars. And he looked me in the eye. He said, Robbie, someday, you're going to be somebody. Someday, you're going to help people. I don't know why I'm telling you this. He said, 3 days ago, God told me to get to the clubhouse. that he had some work for me, and you were there. Is it odd or is it God? And you know that's how we act today, looking for that new bird. We fight for them in my group. I want them! I want them! I got extra time! And that's good, man, because that's what it's about. You know, Bill got on the phone at the Mayflower Hotel to look for another drunk to talk to. Bill and Bob went to the hospital, Town's hospital, to meet AA number 3, Bill D. Let me share this with you. I bring you to that hospital room at Town's hospital. It had to have been somewhere around end of June of 1935. And on the bed sits the man on the bed, and it's Bill Dotson. And oh, by the way, he was a powerful litigation attorney. But not that day. His wife's name was also Henrietta. It's in the book. And here comes Bill and Bob into the room, dressed like I'm dressed tonight, dressed like a lot of you are dressed tonight. And they start talking about their drinking. And I remember he said something like, well, that's fine for you guys, but I'm a goner. They didn't, you know, I'm a salesman. You don't stop at the first no. And they kept going, and they kept on talking about how their life is going, and they understand him. He started to listen. By the time they left that night, they asked him one simple question: can we come back tomorrow? Bill said, I'd really like that. The story goes, it was the next day. Bill and Bob show up in the room. Inside the room on his bed was Henrietta, his wife. Bill D saw them and said to her, that's them, honey. That's the men I told you about. They're the ones. She said in AA Comes of Age that she couldn't get up quick enough and to get out of that room. So those two men could do for her husband what she or any of her family member or her kids weren't able to do. And this is a well-learned man. I'll never forget that. And that's how excited I get when I think about Don C. and how he helped me and Rhonda and all the early members of AA. You know, when I really didn't have nothing to give back to them. The measure of a man or a woman is helping somebody when they can give you nothing in return. Nothing. You're just helping them, be a good for nothing. Do good for nothing. Be a good for nothing. We've been called good for nothings at certain times in our life. Now be it. Do good and expect nothing in return. And I promise you, you will live a life beyond measure. I am blessed and highly favored. I love that, being out in the world. How you doing? Blessed and highly favored. They don't know what that, because what's the answer usually? Not bad. And I usually say, oh, that sucks. I don't say living the dream if I'm not living the dream, but I always say blessed and highly favored, because I am always blessed and I am always highly favored if I stay in the middle of you. I like me best when I'm in the middle of you. I love being here. I love being in AA, and that ain't just idle chatter, is it, honey? I love AA from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, from this side to this side, from the front to the back. Every fiber in my body. I'll do anything I can to help somebody. And I'm active in the community. I'm active in my career. I'm active with my family, right? And we do a lot of cool stuff. We invite our kids to go with us when we do things, right? This is the first time that Dakota's heard my story. I'm sure I told her, you can't hold it against me on the way home now. Well, I remember what you said you did. No, anyway, I know you wouldn't do that. I love that laughter. And I love being here. I don't ever want to go back to the old Robbie. So my name was Robbie growing up from my parents. But when I got to high school, it was Bobby with the girls. You know, it was Bob with the football coaches. And when Don asked me what my name was on October 31st of 1983, well, first I told him Weasel. He said, excuse me? I said, Weasel. He said, dude, people don't even have weasels for pets, okay? What's your name? And I looked at him in the eye, and I said, my name's Robbie. He said, let's keep it like that. I like that name. And because of that man said that to me, I never went back to Bobby. I never went back to Bob. I never went back to Robert. I've been Robbie ever since. Because when I was Robbie, and I was, what's your name, dude? Ryan? Good, man. How you doing? Good? Got a little bit of time? How long you been sober?
A little bit over a year.
My man. Keep up the good work. Love it, brother. And when I was new, I wanted to be that kid that I liked as a kid. I liked playing basketball and going around the basketball courts and having a lot of friends. I liked, doing all those things before that I picked up the first drink at 12 and a half years old. And God said, okay. But there's a few simple rules you got to follow. And I followed them. I'm obedient. I'll tell you right now, I am. And I'll do anything for anybody at any time that I can, if it's within reason. 25 after. I close it at 8:30 or a little before. Or 9:30. 8:30. 9:30. Jesus. Anyway. As we get ready to close, I wouldn't change this for anything. My early sobriety was tough, but I did it. I didn't pick up a drink no matter what. I went to meetings. I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of things since this Zoom came out, because I like Zoom too. Me and Ron have shared during the pandemic on all different platforms, right? We even did once together. And I love it. I love everything about it. But what I hear from a lot of people with time is before Zoom, I didn't really do it. I found God right away, because that's what I was looking for. And that's what Dr. Paul says. I found Dr. Bob in 83. I found God right in 1983 when I went to my meetings, when I went to my Big Book meetings. I went to my 12 and 12 meetings, and he's right here. And he was right here all along. It wasn't in some guru take me through a big book where he's present. And like I said earlier, from 567 to 568, all we had to do was tap into that unsuspected inner resource. And once I tapped in and I said, God, I'm all in. Use me. When we get here, we do the AA opening prayer, and we say, Dear God, help me. And that's step one. That's the first prayer. And then when we stay a little while, we're like, Dear God, please grant me. How about a girlfriend over here? How about my own room? I don't like to have a room, my own part. I don't want a room that's sharing with all these other guys. Okay, grant me a car. How about that? And I'm still working the program, this treasure program. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be. What's your name? Murph. How you doing, Murph? I like Murph. I'd have done time with you, dude. So anyway, Murph, just saying. Murph, I'm just saying, I was getting some good stuff, but I knew that's not what AA was about. AA was about helping others, and stuff started coming, and I said, thank you, but they're possessions, and they're not going to possess me, and I'm going to continue to come to AA, and I'm going to continue to be in the middle of AA, right? Right? So we say, Dear God, please help me. Dear God, please grant me. And then we got to get to the third prayer. What is it? Dear God, please use me. Use me. And I believe at the end of my life, I'm going to be that guy. I need this microphone off, but I'm going to work a program and stay right here. I'm going to be that guy on second base, right? And I'm going to be taking a lead. Right? I'm going to be taking the lead off a second. I know where my bag is. What's your name? Jason. You look like a second baseman. I see Jason. I see Jason sneaking over. I see you leaning. I'm staying close to my bag. But all of a sudden, what is your friend's name again? Brian's up the bat. Look at Brian. Look at his arms. He's got a good stick. I know it. And Brian hits one over the second base's head. There's 2 outs. It's a tie game, bottom of the ninth inning, and I'm on second. And I'm rounding third. And you know what happens, Murph? Nick, stand up and hold me up. Try to hold me up. He's the third base coach. That's it. Yeah, okay, right. Nick, it's called baseball. Jeez, hold me up. So I'm running around third. Thank you. He holds me up, and I don't listen to him. And I run right past his sign. That's what that's called. Usually coaches don't like that. And I slide in the head first, like Pete Rose. If the helmet doesn't come off, I make sure it comes off, right? I got a lot of hair. I always had a lot of hair. It's flying up and down like Pete Rose. And I go in head first, right, Marty? And all the dirt's flying up, and I hear the ball come over my head and hit his glove, and I see the catcher come down on the top of my head, Darryl, and I hit the plate. I know, Murph, I know I touched it, but there's so much dirt. And I look up. And the ump's looking down. And I knocked the ball out of the catcher's mitt. And he said, safe. And next thing he says is, Robbie Walker, I gave you a gift on October 31st of 1983. You weren't doing too good at that point in your life, but I gave you a shot. And that gift is called the gift of Alcoholics Anonymous. And you took that gift, and you did the best you could. Were you my best AA soldier on off? No. But did you try to be? Yes, you did. And for that, welcome home, faithful and trusted servant. That's what I'm waiting to hear. I just hope I'm so tired by the end of my life that I can't do another thing. I always hurt myself when I share. Ooh, today it was my hands. Sometimes I bang on pulpits and I broke my finger once at an international convention. I was so fired up. I didn't tell nobody. Afterwards, I'm like, no hugs. No, I don't want to shake your hand. Newcomers, I hope you laughed a little tonight. I hope I was able to touch your heart a little bit tonight. I love you, if no one's told you that today. I care about you, and so do we. If you're not a member yet of this amazing group, go up to Ron afterwards. Go up to these front row guys. Go up to these women in the beautiful dresses. Go up to Mrs. K and say, I want to join. I want to help. And I promise you, the life you will save will be your own. Thanks for letting me share.
My name's Nick, I'm an alcoholic. Let's give Robbie another round of applause. Phenomenal. The message is clear. Do not smuggle salami. Thank you, everybody. Food and Fellowship, always, like Robbie's saying, come here early, join us. We can use help setting up. All are welcome. We're all inclusive, never exclusive. We can always use help setting this meeting up. What a great blessing it is to have this facility and utilize this place here. But our speakers come here at their own time and expense. We form a line, thank them on a personal level. So please help us with that. And if we can also use some help cleaning up, put all the chairs away. And if you care to join us, we'll circle up and say the Lord's Prayer. Sure.
Got it. Always the ending of
A brief moment of silence, please. Bye-bye.